Okay, so 5.9 is the division of polynomials, part 1. So when dividing a polynomial by a monomial, you got to divide each of the terms of the polynomial by the the polynomial by the monomial. So when we've got two examples here. The first is when we divide by a number only. The second being when we divide by a variable only. So in our first example, I think what we really just need to understand is that we're going to divide 16m by 4, and we're also going to divide 12 by 4. So we're dividing both of these things by 4. So in this case, we'd have 16m divided by 4, and then we'd have 12 divided by 4. So don't forget my plus sign. So if I did 16m divided by 4, remember I'm just dividing 16 by 4, so it'd be 4m. And then 12 divided by 4 being 3. If I look at my next example, remember I've got to divide negative 6y by 3 and then 9 by 3. So in my first bracket, I'd have negative 6y divided by 3 plus 9 divided by 3. So negative 6 divided by 3 would be negative 2, and then we have that y plus 3. Once again, in our next example here, I'm not going to draw it out, but in our first example, we'd have 8m divided by negative 4, and then we'd have negative 20 divided by negative 4. So 8 divided by negative 4 would be negative 2, and then we have our m. Then negative 20 divided by negative 4, giving us positive 5, and the answer of negative 2m plus 5. Now we're going into dividing by a variable only. So once again, we're going to have to take that n to the 5 and divide it by n to the 3. And then that negative 5n to the 4 and divide it by negative 3. So you're going to actually just have to subtract those exponents as we go through it. So if we look at the first, n to the 5 divided by n to the 3. And then in our next one, we have negative 5 n to the 4 divided by n to the 3. And what we mean by that is, so this first bracket would just be n to the 5 minus 3. And the second one would just be negative 5 by itself. And then you'd have n to the 4 minus n, or minus 3. So n to the 5 minus 3 would be n squared. And then you'd have negative 5n, 4 minus 3 being 1, giving us that answer. If we look at our next example here, once again, we're going to have to divide that whole first term by a, and then negative 3a by that. So we'd have 2 by itself, and then it would be a squared divided by a, and then b by itself. In the next bracket, you would have negative 3 by itself, and then a divided by a. So over here, it would be 2 by itself, a squared 2 minus 1, right? And then b. And then over here, you'd have negative 3, but then you've got your 1 minus 1 because it's divided by itself. So we'll show you once again what that works out to being. So we'd have 2, and then we have 2 minus 1 being just 1, so it's a, b, and then minus 3. And in this case, anything to the exponent of 0, or we'll see, is just that case, or 1. So the final answer is going to be 2ab minus 3, okay? Because if we just multiplied that by 1, we would get the same answer. So again, that is 5.9 division of polynomials, part 1, where we dealt with dividing by a number and a variable.